Yes! Here we are, coming to you live and in person. Now, as many of you know out there watching at home, sometimes when you're doing a live show, anything can happen. We tried to do this show a little bit earlier tonight, and I forgot that I had my time travel boots on. And so I was walking a few steps into the future, and you were all left in my dust in the past. But now, hopefully, you can all hear and see me. Weigh in on the comments. Let me see on the screen. Can you hear me and see me now? Am I lagging? Yes. All right. I think everything is working. All you have to do is turn it off and back on again, and everything is fine. Now, we have a very exciting and special show for you. We don't need that anymore. Get that out of here. All right. You know the name of this show. You watch us whenever you can. You know you love it. All right. We have a special show for you tonight where we're going to do a recap of my recent sold-out tour. I just came home from 7 performances in Baltimore and New York City, and all of them sold out. And I'd love to tell you about all of my adventures and share with you some of the treasures that I brought home with me. So, let's begin. Now, I have lots of notes here so that I don't forget all of the things that I need to say. Is everything still working okay out there? Can you still see and hear me? Let me know. All right, great. Well, to begin with on my adventure, I traveled to Baltimore, Maryland, where I stayed with my fantastic friends, Dan Van Allen and Catherine Fahey. Now, I have to tell you about their domicile because it is completely unique and a one-of-a-kind art installation and museum and living, breathing organism. It's insane, and so we brought lots and lots of photos to share with you. Now, the house is 2 houses from the 1800s combined, connected, and those houses each are 4 floors. Each floor is packed with art objects, ephemera, fetishes, all sorts of exquisite things. There's a picture of the kitchen, which is delightful. I spent lots of time there. And we're just going to go through and look at some of the pictures from their lovely home. Look at all of these cool things, amazing artwork. Fantastic. Look at this, clowns. And one of those things, you know, what you do with an alligator. We're just going to look at all, whoop, what happened? Let me go this way. Just a little stage trickery there. Some puppets from Indonesia. Amazing front, this is the front room of the house with a altar. More clowns, there were so many clowns everywhere, I loved it. I loved this clown painting. Lots of paint by numbers. There's one of Frida Kahlo, which was delightful. And just full of artwork from around the world, many cultures represented and styles of artwork. Very cool, very amazing place. I'm so grateful to Dan and Catherine for letting me stay with them for so many days. I stayed there quite a bit, and they were quite generous with their hospitality and taking care of me and feeding me our breakfast ritual every day of coffee and miso soup. And here we are now in the yard, which I loved. The backyard was delightful. had all sorts of weird, creepy dolls and sculptures. It's an amazing place. It really is a one-of-a-kind work of art in itself. Had so much fun. Look at all of this. It just goes on and on. I don't even know how many. Oh, look, there's a tree house. There was a tree house there. This is up in the air. There's a fantastic bird feeder right there. And there's these robins that swoop in every morning and just fill it up. It's amazing. I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Now, that was Dan and Catherine's house. And a fun fact about their house is where they live, right across the alley is where the Arabbers are. Now, if you don't know what the Arabbers are, it is a Baltimore tradition of horse-drawn carriages that are fruit dealers and fruit and vegetable dealers. Here we are. Here is an example of the Arabbers. Now, the Arabbers have their own sort of vernacular and call that they do through the city, and it's a long-running tradition. It's sort of like the ice cream man with healthy stuff. And sometimes they let the children go on rides on the ponies, and they sell you fruits and vegetables. Here is a little mural in the back of Dan's house, dedicated to the Arabbers. So that's where I was staying. Now, oh yes, this guy right here. We became fast friends. This little old man and I, he lived right in the alley between Dan's house and the Arabbers, and I hope that he's doing well so that he's there the next time that I come to visit him, because I loved him. Incredibly sweet little old man, would let me pick him up and carry him, and I spent every morning visiting with that kitty. Now, the first day after I had gotten settled in and unpacked and went to sleep, and then the next day happened, and we did a technical rehearsal for the show, and then I went to one of my favorite places ever, which is this right here, Atomic Books. And so we have lots of stuff to show you that I got from Atomic Books, but first, let's see. I got some presents from Dan and Catherine just for visiting. Happy New Year's gifts. So let's take a look at those. Let's see. First of all, they gave me this, which is very cool. And we're going to have to switch to our toy camera here. Look at that. It is an Edward Gorey board game, Escape from the Evil Garden. Ooh. So if anyone wants to come over and play this, we have it now. So we have this in the toy castle, and we can play it with you. It'll be lots of fun. And also, they gave me this little vintage Mickey Mouse. Very cool, little blue rubber Mickey Mouse. And I also got this Pez dispenser. Now, Pez will become a theme as we talk more about Baltimore, so this was cool to see. And we know that new movie is out now on Netflix, I believe, about the Pez Outlaw, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard is fantastic and everyone keeps telling me about it. Yes, I will watch it, maybe tonight. But let's take a look at the stuff that we got here from Atomic Books. Now, if you don't know about Atomic Books, it is one of the most well-curated independent comic shops in the country. They specialize in indie, small print, zines, fantastic stuff. They do have some commercial things, but if you're looking for obscure randomness and small print stuff, Atomic Books is one of my absolute favorites to go to. I go every time I go to Baltimore. And so the person working at the counter gave me this just for stopping in. And this is their anniversary sticker. I forget which year it was for the anniversary, maybe 40 years or 30 years, something like that, but it was some sort of anniversary, and she said this is the anniversary sticker, so I got that. And then I got these from the bonus bin, which were fantastic buys because they were all already on my list of things that I wanted to get. So it's great to find them for way cheaper than cover price. We got this one here, which is American Jesus, Volume 2. And that, if you see here, will soon be a Netflix show, so keep a lookout for that. I also got the final volume of Britannia, Lost Eagles of Rome. Very fun series that I like. It's sort of like a historical horror comic. I don't know if you read it, but it's good. And Peter Milligan, classic 90s Vertigo comics author. Peter Milligan wrote that. And finally, I found this for only $3. Edward Gray Witchfinder. So these are always fun from the world of Hellboy. So those were great. Now, some very exciting things that I found at Atomic Books were comics by friends that I actually know in real life. Very fun, very exciting to find these things. Now, I found a couple things from people that I actually know and have done shows with and whatnot, festivals, all that sorts of thing. Not only are these people comic book artists, also puppeteers. So let's take a look here. I found this, which is a little blurry. We're waiting for it to just zoom. Wait for the blur effect for drama. There we go. DJ Whoops by Otto Splotch. I know Otto from New Orleans, always part of our puppet festival, and always does something interesting and bizarre, really weird. So I found this little comic from Otto Splotch, which is very cool. Fun thing to find from New Orleans. And then this I found Gutted by Kevin Sherry, also a Baltimore native, resident there in Baltimore, fantastic puppeteer and illustrator and children's book author. So we found that from Kevin Sherry. That's very cool. And, you know, these things are not comics that... And then, okay, and then let's look at some of the single flippy floppies that we found. We found this, Scott McTerrian's Holiday Party. I don't know what it's about, but I did like the cover. So look at that. Just looks fun and weird. And then I found this small press sort of weirdo thing called Space Fart #1, an anthology of comics joy. And friends, this is very exciting. I found these books, which have been on my list, and I haven't been able to find them. In fact, some of them were even sold out online, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I found them at Atomic Books, so I'm very excited about this stack here, which I'm going to show you now. All right, so let's see. Here we go. We found #2 of the Santos Sisters. Everyone is talking about this book. It is a hot book. And so I finally found an issue of that. That's very fun. And then this is the most exciting thing that I found. I found the first 4 issues of Pink Lemonade. And I have to tell you, these are phenomenal. This is the very reason that comic books exist. Super fun comic. I highly recommend them. Now, I guess it's now being put out by Oni Press. They were being put out independently by the artist. So now you can find them. Here's a couple more. Now you can find them maybe at your local comic shop. Highly recommended. Very fun. Very colorful, strange, delightful series. So I found all 4 issues of Pink Lemonade. That's super exciting and fun. All right, now moving right along. The next day, we decided to have a little fun and visit Baltimore proper with my very good friend. Here she is, Deborah Hunt, fantastic matriarch of puppetry in Puerto Rico, visionary artist in her own right, and celebrating 50 years of her company, one of my favorite living artists in the work of puppetry art, fantastic friend, and huge inspiration, life inspiration to not only me, but I'm sure to many of you watching. So me and Deborah got to hang out in the city of Baltimore, and we went to the American Visionary Art Museum. And so I took a few pictures of some pieces there that I liked. We'll take a look at some of those. I loved this crocheted hobby horse. Very colorful and fun. Oh, and here's their Pez collection. Look at all those Pez dispensers, and they're not like, you know, they're vintage, they're weird. There's some from Japan. Lots of cool Pez dispensers they have in a little glass case, so I thought that was a fun thing to share with you all. Look at that. And here's a wizard tapestry. And let's see what else we have. Some more art from the Visionary Museum. I took pictures of the figurative stuff of the dolls and the weird illustrations. I loved this. This monkey was made all out of beads, and it was a huge gorilla made out of beads. And let's see, and there should be another monkey. Oh, I see what's going on, because it's green and it's not showing up on the screen. We're just going to have to work with it. But beautiful bright green those monkeys were in real life. And these, oh, and here's a piece by Vanessa German. I love Vanessa German. She is an amazing artist, and her work is exquisite. I was lucky enough to go one year to the Visionary where they had a whole room of her pieces. And oh yes, can we blow this one up? Can we see this one bigger? This is from an old woman who just put it over my face. Just let's look at that. Just put it over me. All right, well. Can everyone see it? It's this old woman that decided to become an artist in her old age, and she made these very interesting self-portraits, which were delightful and humorous. All right, that's enough of that. And moving right along, here's a figurative piece made out of some found objects that I liked, and this witch going on a little broomstick adventure, just like me. And after the shop, we went to one of my favorite places ever, best store ever, which is called Sideshow. Now, if you've never seen our show before, you can go back and look at episode 5, I believe, where we talk more about Dan and his fantastic art house. And we also talk about Sideshow, which is the museum shop, which is packed with fun things. And we got some things to show with that. And then our next photo is after the museum. We met some friends, Hayden and David, who are both delightful human beings. And me and Deborah went out to lunch with them. And David is a magician, fantastic and hilarious magician. And Hayden is a glass artist. So if you're interested in stained glass, you can find some of his work online at blackglassguy.com. So you definitely want to check out that. It's some very cool things. So we went out to lunch with friends. Let's take a look at what we got from the Sideshow shop from our good friend Uncle Fun. We got a big bag of stuff here, and it's green, so it's invisible. Let's see. We'll just start taking these things out, and I'll show them to you. First of all, got a lot of stuff from the sideshow. They have lots of good deals, cheap things, lots of fun. And so we'll just take that out and look at all of it. How exciting. All right, first off, we found this little fridge magnet here. And that is from the American Visionary of some of the robots that are in the adjacent building. So I thought that was cool, fun souvenir. And then I found these, which I liked quite a bit, which... little duck feet. Got some little duck feet, and then I found a whole pile of patches, and I'm going to use these patches to sew onto ragamuffins. So some new decoration for ragamuffins. We'll just look at some of those. Here's a regional ambulance. Here's a team up cookie sale. I know you want that one. A bunch of these that say SWS or SMS, I don't know. Use your imagination. Oh, look at this one. Adventure Club. This one, I don't know what that says. Writer. Oh, I like this one quite a bit. It's karate. So we got a whole pile of patches. Keep a lookout for those. Those will be used on new ragamuffins coming in the future. All right, and let's see. I found this little mobile of hanging fish. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it was like 50 cents. So I was like, why not? Lots of cheap, fun things. Speaking of cheap, fun things, I bought a whole bunch of this. I almost bought every single one because they're amazing, and you don't find good stuff like this anymore. Just don't make it anymore. So these here are a bunch of old school hanging skeletons, and I thought maybe we could make a garland out of it and hang it in the house. And I bought like the whole pile, like just every one off the rack. I was like, wow, these are only 50 cents. Give me all of them. So I got lots of weird old school skeletons. And let's see. I found some lenticular postcards, which I thought were very cool. Maybe we can put that in a frame. I don't know if you can see how 3D it is, but that one is Keith Haring. Look, he seems to be like popping right off of the paper and into your home. There's Keith Haring, and of course, one of my all-time favorites, Basquiat. And there he is. This one didn't work as good, but I do love Basquiat, so I bought it. So there you go. I don't know if you can see even what it does. All right, we got some lenticular postcards. And let's see, I don't know, a bunch of little crap in a bag. I don't know, it was very cheap, so I was like, give me all that. So we got some little clown heads, because, you know, everyone needs these. They were like 3 for a quarter or something, so I was like, yeah, I'll take some of those. Got some little clown heads and this little choir boy. Let's see, he was pretty cheap. And let's see, what else? Oh, also we got some little stickers of characters from Planet of the Apes. So I think a couple of my friends would be very interested in these. And so these are going to be gifts to certain people I know. Maybe even certain people that are watching right now at home. Who knows? But a bunch of Planet of the Apes stickers, and then a bunch of these little cheap blind boxes, which I'm also going to use for either prizes or for presents for my friends and fans. So that's you watching at home. This one I might keep for myself. I'm not going to lie. All right, now Also, finally, I got this because it was very cheap and it was very big. New fun first edition comics. Comics from the 1930s in a big hefty volume. And it was, pretty affordable. I think it was like, $5 or something, hardcover, and it looked fun. So we got that as well, all from Sideshow inside the Visionary Art Museum, which used to be called Uncle Fun's in Chicago, if you remember that. And Uncle Fun himself was there, and I love him. He is a delightful human being, and he was nice to hang out with and talk with and get all the good deals of useless crap to fill our castle with more plastic. Let's see. Now, this is Friday. So after we had went to the museum and went to lunch, we went straight to the Creative Alliance Theater for the first day of the Baltimore Cranky Festival. This is the reason that I went on the tour, was to do the Baltimore Cranky Festival. We had 3 days, 4 performances of the Baltimore Cranky Festival, and Deborah came with me to see the show. So the first night of the festival, all 4 shows sold out. The first performance was Josh Cohn, who is also one of the organizers and producers of the festival, doing a little cranky piece. Starting the evening was Josh. Then our friends Alex and Olmsted with a piece about bread. And it was very funny and became an ongoing joke throughout the weekend. I don't need to repeat it, because if they're watching, they're already tired of the jokes that I made. They were tired of them the first time. Then there was a piece by the Lantern Sisters, who are, of course, Catherine Fahey and Dan Van Allen, who are also the people that I was staying with in the wonderful art house. And they were here not too long ago and did a show at the Toy Castle privately for our friends. So keep a lookout for that, because sometimes we just might have private shows and you could come to. It's not too private, but Then we had this show by the Beatbox Dads, which was very cool, incorporating hip hop and cranky art. And legendary performers of puppetry art, the Sandglass Theater, Eric and Inez, did a wonderful piece that also had some puppetry in it. Their show was phenomenal. Yes, Zen was here for the Lantern Sisters show at the Toy Castle. Let's see, and so there's another picture of, yes, you can see, maybe move that one up a little bit so you can see the puppet. Really deftly manipulated by Inez, a beautiful story. This piece was exquisite, called The Red Shoes by Wooly Marr. Very cool, a beautiful song that she sang while doing the piece, and she cranked it, and very innovative, interesting things. Someone told me it took her many years to make the piece, and it showed. So there is, there wasn't 2 pictures. All right, and this fellow, amazing. I love him to death. He was such a delight to meet. Milako Boulay from Ethiopia was part of the show, and his piece was amazing, and he had an amazing story, and hopefully he transforms his story into a cranky piece and comes back and shares it with us, because we had lunch a few days later and he told me his story and it was absolutely fascinating. So here's another picture of Milaku with the Beatbox Dads, and there we are together backstage taking a selfie, which I never do. Obviously, you can tell. But, I was trying to be better about taking photos while I was on tour, so that's about as good as I can do with a cell phone. And let's see, and then here is a picture of me. Of course, I was also in the festival, and that was fun for everyone, I think. And let's see, and then finally, Emily Schubert was also the final piece in the festival, and the host was was the Bag Lady, which is the Bag Lady related to Toybox, because Toybox Bag Lady, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of synchronicities there, but apparently Bag Lady goes around and MCs different shows in Baltimore, just like I MC shows wherever I MC shows. So the Bag Lady was our host for the evening and was very fun and had lots of surprises in all of our bags. And then finally, the house band of the whole festival was Geraldine. Were fantastic, all of them multi-instrumentalists and very talented human beings. So there was that. Now, on the second day of the, oh, and then here's this. There's a picture of the entire cast and crew. Don't forget the crew, because the crew was wonderful and they were doing a fantastic job running the technical stuff and also stagehanding. Yes, you should be jelly, because this festival was phenomenal. It sold out every night. Everyone loved it and had tons and tons of fun. So there we go. Now, the next day was Saturday. That morning, before we went, Dan and I, whoops, we're not there yet. Saturday morning, before we went to do the shows, we went to the flea market. And we met Emily and Ian at the flea market and had lots of fun and found all sorts of good things very cheap. Dan had bought me some presents, so he got me this, which is very cool. It's a bottle of witch's brew. Let's see if we can see that. It's a little, there we go. A bottle of witch's brew, and I think you can put a little light in it and make it shine. So that was a gift from Dan that he found, that he figured I needed. And then he also got me these weird fish. There's two of them. Here they are. All right. All right, so some gross and stupid looking plastic fish. We got those because, you know, I need them. And also found this. I already have a pretty decent collection of plastic baboons, which I love, but I don't have a baby one, so I got a little baby one. Look, little baby one baboon. There's his little monkey butt. Very cute. I know right where that will go. And all sorts of fun things. This weird pod racer Transformers thing that is a Star Wars Transformer, and it transforms into an Obi-Wan robot. Look at that. So this is a Transformer Star Wars. Transformer Star Wars guy. Let's see. I got this. All of this stuff was incredibly cheap too. Like, people were like, oh, you want more of it? Just put it in your bag and give me $5. So I probably spent maybe $10 on all of this stuff. I found this little weird scorpion xenomorph. Look at that. That's cool. And let's see. Well, tons of stuff in this bag. Let's see. We got, oh, here we go. Some of this stuff I didn't even want, but they were just like, take more, put it in your bag. And I was like, okay. So I just kept piling it in. So I'm just going to take them all out here. Make this a little, try and expedite this situation faster because we could be here all day. Let's see. All right. Here we go. All right. So, we got a couple Power Rangers. This one is a bootleg Power Ranger, which I love this style. And this may become relevant again because I have many of them and I always buy them if I see them. This one is a pink bootleg. And here is a Green Ranger, but I think this one is a legitimate toy. And let's see, we got some dewbacks, some little tiny dewbacks, which seemed worth getting. And let's see, I found this TIE fighter pilot. It's like a 97 Power of the Force style. Oh, I got these little guys that are vintage. If you're watching at home and you know in the comments, remind me what they're from, but they're little tinies and they have magnets in their feet. So you can stick them on stuff. I don't have anything metal with me, but they're little tiny guys that have magnet feet, which are great. I forget what line they're from, but if you know, let me know in the comments. Weigh in. Those guys are very cool. And then I found this little Fozzie Bear. How could I pass on Fozzie? Oh, and this old lady who I love because she's like this. She gets mad and she can kick stuff or dance. I don't know, but I love the little old lady.
What's that? Looks like the toys of Bora had? What are they talking about?
Looks like the toys that Abora had. Maybe she had that when she was little. Here is a Magneto. Rubber Magneto. Oh, Starcom. Yes. Thank you, Brendan. All right. Found this really dumb looking Humpty Dumpty. He's pretty fun. And this, I think, is a corpse figure. Let me know in comments, but it's like a knockoff, old school O-ring style G.I. Joe figure from the corpse. I thought he was pretty cool. I think he might be from Starcom as well, outer space. And let's see, found this little witch. I couldn't pass her up because, you know, that goes without saying. A little people from Fisher-Price. Love that guy. This Boba Fett, which I may just cut off the head and put onto another toy, or give to a friend that needs a Boba Fett head. I don't know. All the bootleggers are doing it nowadays. So look at that. Little flying Boba Fett. This really dumb looking doll. One of these, which I love. I always get these little Madame Alexander. I have hundreds of these. If you ever find them, just get them and give them to me. I love them. They're very fun. And I just love having as many as possible. And then we got this. I love wind-up toys. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but it's a wind-up toy of Thing 1 and Thing 2, and it actually works. They walk, but we don't have the camera set up to show you. So, now, the grand finale of flea market finds. If you know me and know what I like collecting pirates. We have a big pirate display up in the toy castle, so I found lots of cool pirate toys. First off, I have to mention that I found this Blythe from Pirates of Dark Water with the cape in great condition, almost brand new, and so it's rare that you find him with the cape and it looking so good and not gross, and his looks almost brand new. And this is the penultimate figure from this line that I needed. I only need one more to have all of the Pirates of Dark Water, so I was happy to find that. And then I found a bunch of these sort of Imperial pirates. Here's a couple of them here. They're pretty great. They're very dumb looking. You know, the dumber the better in my book. Look at these guys. And then there's these guys. All right, and also we found this Sega Genesis game, which I was not familiar with, so I was like, oh, I'll try it. It was not a lot of money, and it looked kind of fun. I looked it up on my phone before I bought it to make sure, and it's actually a McDonald's game called Global Gladiator. So we're going to play this tonight. It's been waiting to be played since we got home from tour, but now that I'm showing you all the stuff and unpacking all of my baggage, we can finally get to playing with this stuff, which is lots of fun. So let me clear this off. All right, so this would be day 2 of the Cranky Festival, Saturday. So we had some more shows, same lineup, same fantastic show, repeated 2 more times, 2 shows on Saturday. Now, on Saturday, the violin player from the band, incredibly wise and intuitive individual, realized, no one said anything, but he realized somehow that he should bring a toy offering to the Toy Witch, which was quite a lovely surprise. I did not expect it at all, but you know, sometimes this happens quite a bit. People come to my live shows and they're like, oh, Toybox, I brought you some toys. And I'm like, thank you, I want toys. So it works out for both of us. And so Josh, the violin player from Geraldine, brought me some offerings. And here they are. One, he got me a vintage 90s He-Man. Let's see if we can get him to focus in. All right, we got a vintage 90s He-Man from the New Adventures of He-Man. He's got a little action here. All right, and this is very cool. I love this. I want to put it in a frame. It is an old Mr. T lunch bag. Look at that. And it still has Josh's name on it. So he's been saving this for his entire life and decided that I needed to have it. And that is very special. And I'm very grateful to him for giving this to me. So we're going to put it in a little frame up in the house. There's something in there. I don't know what that is, but look at that, Mr. T lunch bag. I've never seen one of these. Very cool. Thank you, Josh. If you're watching at home, it was very sweet of you to bring me offerings for the second day of our festival. Now, third day of the festival, Sunday, we had one more performance. Everything went great. And then we were done. And it was a little strange to have completed it after doing it so many times. We sold out all of the shows. And so I had a few days off. And so on the first day off, Monday, Catherine and I went to the obligatory Baltimore Edgar Allan Poe tourist stuff. So first we went to Edgar Allan Poe's house. Oh wait, here, let's see if he can go up into his house there. Oh, he doesn't have his keys. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Edgar. All right, so we went to Edgar Allan Poe's house, and here is the house, and here is a close-up detail of the plaque outside. That is where he lived, and then we went to the cemetery where he rests, and there is the monument right in the front of the cemetery when you walk in. And Virginia Clem is also buried there, his wife, and Mary Poe Clem as well. And here's just some interesting photos from the cemetery where Edgar Allan Poe is buried. Yes, I just had a Poe. I made that special for this show. So here's some pictures of the Poe Cemetery. And this is an interesting thing. It's sort of a phenomenon of these bent slabs made out of, they have them around the East Coast. I'm not sure what the significance of it is, but it's a monument of death. Some old gravestones there. Now, while we were in this cemetery, walking around, there were many mysterious corpses spread throughout and carcasses all over the cemetery, which was gross and mysterious. There is the headstone of Edgar Allan Poe. This Ugh, yes, there it is. Look, just bloody corpses lying around in Edgar Allan Poe's cemetery. For real. Look, there's another one. Bones. Death. Macabre things. That's fine. That was a dead, exploded bird all over the yard. All right, so we went to Edgar Allan Poe's home and final resting place on Monday, and that was delightful. And then on Tuesday, we had a big adventure, which I'm excited to tell you about. So Dan and Catherine and I, we went for a hike on the Painted Rock Trail in Baltimore, near Baltimore. So we have some photos of the Painted Rock, and here's some of the painted rocks that we found. This one's a little owl in a tree, and this one is for the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And there it says, always winter, never Christmas. Yes! And here's some warriors painted on a rock. And a little mushroom rock. And then this little gnome house. There is a little gnome house. You have another, there you go. There was little mushroom houses for the gnomes to live in. So we found all sorts of things. Okay, and then after, well, first of all, hold on, wait on this one. After, this is really good. After we went on the Painted Rock Trail, we went and found one of those free libraries, and you're never going to believe what I found inside the free library, which was this hefty tome of everything from Linda Barry, comics from 1978 to 1981. So look at that. This big Linda Barry book, which I was already a fan and did not have this book. And so I'm very excited to curl up with the kitty cats and read this, some radical women's comics from the 70s and 80s for free. For free. Free. Free library. Awesome. I saw this same book in New York City, and it was like $25. So found it for free, which was great. And that's what we did after the Painted Rock Trail, and we went on a hike, which was lots of fun through nature. We went to the most charming and delightful historic place called Ellicott City. And we have some pictures from Ellicott City here. If you don't know it, it's a utterly charming, very old city in Maryland, historic town. So they have these cool sort of mosaic thingies. And while we were there, we went antiquing, and we went to the antique shop, and of course, I got toys. So let's see some of the toys, just a few things from Ellicott City that I liked. Now this, if you remember, I got this to go with my Pink Ranger. I got a bootleg Black Ranger, and this one has even cooler paint on it. So let's see, where is she? So I got a friend. I love this style of bootleg Power Ranger, so I was happy to find that. Very affordably, I should add. And then I got a bunch of Hamburger Clown memorabilia, and you all know I love my Hamburger Clown memorabilia. So let's take a look at some of those. First of all, we got a couple Fry Kids. Look at them. This one has a little Groucho mustache and glasses. So we got some new Fry Kids to go with our Fry Kids collection. And this I absolutely love. This is the funnest thing that I found there at the Ellicott Antique Mall, which is an old school style penny racer. I don't know if any of you remember these, but let's see if I can close up. It's getting a little blurry. There we go. a little tiny penny racer with Ronald McDonald, and you put a penny in there, right in the back, and it can pop a wheelie, and you just pull it back, and it goes. I don't know if you can hear it, but super great little Ronald McDonald penny racer. And then, of course, I found this Frankenstein. Look at this. It's a little Frankenstein, but wait. Oh. Inside is revealed the Hamburger Clown. Yes, the Hamburger Clown was hiding inside of Frankenstein's flesh to be found by me in Ellicott City. So I found Ellicott City. Lots of great things in Ellicott City. All right. And that's what I found at the flea market. Fun, cheap buys, which made me happy. Then we went out to eat at an amazing Syrian restaurant. It was delicious. I forget the name, but if you're ever there, go there and eat. They have lots of delicious options and snacks and teas and all sorts of things. All right. So then, moving right along, we have so many notes and things that happened on this tour. Sold out. Every show sold out. I sold out every show on my tour. Can you believe it? I wasn't waiting for anything. I was waiting for a response. All right. So on Thursday, I drove to New York City. And I was staying with my friend Luke in New York City. And when we got there, we went on a little adventure. And he said, well, what do you want to do while you're in New York City? And I said, well, of course, I want to go to all the cool toy stores and comic book shops that we can. Because, of course, that evening I had to do a performance. So we didn't have much time, but we did have a little time. And we went to some really cool places, which I'd like to share. So first of all, we went to a fantastic toy store called My Plastic Heart. Let's see. Oh, wait, let's show the pictures. We have pictures of this place. There it is. This is the toy store, My Plastic Heart, specializing in imported toys from Japan and cute blind boxes. I think they call them kawaii. And there's Luke, and in My Plastic Heart, lots of cool stuff in there, packed with fun. I highly recommend going if you're in Brooklyn and just want something to do and find some fun surprises, because we got them right here. And they have this delightful little dog that you can pet. He's friendly. So that was in My Plastic Heart. And then after we went to My Plastic Heart, we went to this amazing indie bookstore and comic shop called Desert Island. And next to Desert Island is a Quimby's. So Chicago friends will remember Quimby's as a classic indie comic shop. Now they have one in New York City. So let's see some of the things that we got from My Plastic Heart, which are all blind boxes. So this will be fun. Let me take them out. We have 3 blind boxes, and here we go. Let's see. Come back to the toy camera, and there's their business card, which has the little puppy on it. And they gave me this little cute sticker. Look at that. All right. So first of all, I got this blind box here of a mushroom, and this one is for Jen Ben as a gift. I did get her some gifts on my tour. So here is one of them, but I'm going to open it live on camera. Let's see what it is. And it is a little adorable yellow mushroom. Let's open it up. These were so cute. They had a whole bunch of different mushrooms, but I just got one, and so it goes right like that. So you can see one There's a little tiny one coming out of a spore. Adorable. It really is. So that's for Genman, little mushroom. And I got a couple cool blind boxes for myself because I thought that this would be fun for all of you watching at home because it's a mystery. What is inside? So let's see. This one is called Fantasy Candy World is the line of Teletubbies. So we got Fantasy Candy World Teletubbies, and if you can see there, there's all of our options that we could get. So I'll tell you which one that I want to get, which is this Tinky Winky clown. But who do you think we got? Did we get Poe? Did we get Dipsy? Did we get Lala? Or did we get Tinky Winky? Let's weigh in on the comments. Who do you think that we got? While I open it, place your votes now. Cast your magic spell, and maybe it will come true inside the mystery box. Let's see. What do you all think? We have 1 vote for Lala, 2 votes for Lala. Lots of votes for Lala. Oh, got some of this stuff. Do not ingest. Let's see. That's just the hat. Oh, look. It's still a mystery. You can't see because it's in a plastic bag. Tinky Winky is what we're going for. Yes, let's see. Who did we get? Come to this camera. And here it is. It's a little Dipsy, dressed like a cow. But really, you know, there are no losers here, and this is adorable. I love it. So we are happy with that. And we got a little Dipsy dressed like a cow. That's fine. All right. And now I got this other blind box, which is called a Toki-Mondo. Toki-Mondo. So, Mondo, check it out. Who knows what this is? Let's see. Let's go to the camera here and we can see what are our options. So there's Sakura Samurai, Jaguar Ninja, Sneaker Shogun, Mechatalion, Mamimon, Kaiju, a monkey, a 2-headed thing, and then this guy called Laces, which is the one that I want. I have to be honest, this one right here called Laces is what I'm after, but place your votes. What do you think we're going to get? Banana Thrasher says Zen. So we're going to play the game, cast the dice. And cast your votes now, and here we go. We'll see who is going to be inside. Once again, it's a mystery inside the plastic bag. Let's see. Wow, it smells very much like some sort of urethane chemical inside of this bag. I think I could even get high sniffing this. All right, and let's see who it is. Here it comes. It's just this little cutie. It's a little rainbow Godzilla. What is their name? Memimian. So there it is, little rainbow cutie. But as I said, you can't be disappointed. They're all winners. So that is that. So we went to My Plastic Heart and got those fun things. And then after, we got comics! Yes! Really weird comics from Desert Island and from Quimby's. So let's take a look at that stuff. And look, here's the Desert Island bag that has a little stamp right on it. Let's see if we can There's what their stamp looks like. And from Desert Island, let's see. I have to separate these out because some of this stuff was from Quimby's and some of it was... All right, there's the Quimby stuff. All right. So this was... I got this because it is from their house publisher.
Just keep going forward so it doesn't happen.
All right, Toy Cam went down for a second. We're going to have to fix that. But I got this little book, which is from the house publisher, and it's full of all sorts of interesting anthology comics from Desert Island. You know, so I was interested in getting things straight from them that you can't get anywhere else, and stuff that I had never seen before. So I got this weird comic called Island. Looks very fun. Lots of weird eyeball stuff in there. I don't know. And this book here called The Green Hand and Other Stories. This was on sale, and it looks very cool. And it's got all sorts of, it's really my style of stuff in here. So very cool, surreal artwork and comics. Beautiful stuff if you can see it. So we got this one called The Green Hand. And then they had some of these Smoke Signals free comics from New York City. So of course I got really every one that I could. I was just like, yes, give me all of them. All right, so I got some free comics from them. And then we went to Quimby's next door and found some more anthology zine comics, which I love this kind of stuff, you know, just little cheap independent things that you can't find anywhere else. So there is that. So some fun, this one's called Municipal Threat, and this one is called Carpal Tunnel Headache. So there are those that we got from Quimby's, and then I got this little present, another present for Jenben, which is a little sticker of RuPaul. Oh, and that's why we had there was an exhibit of RuPaul, young RuPaul pictures at one of the museums that I went to, and that's why I got them. We're trying to fix the toy camera. Excuse me. But we're going to keep going. And so that was Thursday. And then we had the show. So we went to the comic shop and the toy store. And then we had my big performance at Jalopy Theater and Music School with our friends, the Box Cutter Collective. And so... So we're going to look at some pictures from the show now, which was also sold out in New York City at Jalopy School and Theater, which is a delightful little theater. It's perfect for puppetry. I loved the feel of it. Lots of like wooden architecture and artifice, whatever. So there is our friends from the Box Cutter Collective. And they opened the evening with 3 delightful pieces. This one, which was about taking the bus and how New York buses are not maybe always on time, was lots of fun. And there was a bunch of weird puppety characters riding the bus. Everyone loved it. Very funny and weird. And then our friend Tom did a cranky performance about the Opinion Man, which was very funny. Hope that we get to see that again. He's a very funny friend of ours, and loved seeing him perform. And then there was this piece, which was fascinating and a tribute to the late, great Bernice Silver, activist and puppeteer based in New York City for over 100 years. She was up until just a few short years ago, the oldest living, still performing puppeteer, I believe, on the planet Earth. And she lived to over 100 years old. So there was that. And this, so many wonderful friends came to visit and see the show. Jalopy from New York, famous clowns and magicians and puppeteers. So here's a picture of Luke with Tanya Solomon, my friend who is a magician, and we have performed before. And let's see, we have a couple more. Here's a picture, some pictures from Glenn Heroy, who is also a famous New York clown. And there's a picture of me doing part of my show at Jalopy and some of my merch. And look, here's me with Brian and Silly Willy. Everyone loves Silly Willy. I'm sure if you've watched many of our online live streams, Silly Willy pops in on occasion to many of our live stream shows. And so I got to see Silly Willy live in person, which I haven't seen him, in the flesh in a few years. So that was great to see Silly Willy at our show, which was sold out in New York City. All right, moving right along. The next day was Friday. Now, our friend Luke was celebrating his birthday, and so we did some things for his birthday, which were a lot of fun. First of all, this is extraordinary, and you're all going to enjoy it, and some of you might be a little bit jealous of this, because we went to the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, and it was every bit as exquisite as the film. Now, if you haven't seen that movie yet, shame on you. Go and watch it as soon as possible. It is a masterpiece, and on display right now in New York City are all of the puppets and sets, well, not all the sets, but a lot of the sets and puppets from the film. So we took lots of pictures. Let's take a look. I loved this quote. This is hanging right at the entrance of the exhibit. Del Toro says, "Animation is a medium, not a genre," which is quite true. Many people, I deal with this all the time. They think, same as puppetry, right? People think, oh, puppetry, that's for kids. Well, if any of you have seen my show before, you know that if it's for kids, they're special kids. Let's be honest. All right, and here is just a bunch of things. Here's some maquettes of some of the characters in there. And here's a whole bunch of the puppets of the villagers. And this famous scene. And here is the directors of the film made as little puppets at the end of the exhibit. And some of the sideshow characters. I loved this one because he has this, it's just like a fake paper mache head to make him look like a two-headed person in the sideshow. Very cute. There's the church, of course. If you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, there might be some spoilers here. I should tell you that right now, so maybe you want to pause or something. I don't know, but we're just going to look at it anyway because these are exquisite. So here is how they made trees look real out of paper, using paper materials to make the bark, and I thought it was quite interesting. More of the sideshow characters. Geppetto's workshop there. This scene was the training academy. The actual puppets that were puppets in the movie, which I thought were adorable and delightful. And there is the fire eater. And Geppetto in his workshop again. There's, of course, the cricket. And here's, you can see kind of how the sets actually look. Very cool. It was mind-blowingly awesome. So here you can see what the puppets look like underneath their skin, their actual skeletons here. which were quite extraordinary. And here's the little skeleton rabbits going down into hell or whatever that place was. These were all 3D models and puppets that you could see in the exhibit. They were all there. So here you can see what the inside of Pinocchio looks like, and his armature or animated skeleton looks like, in all these little machined parts to make him move each bit of his body. And there is, wait, can we go? There's, of course, the big fish, and then there's a mock-up fish test version made out of foam and homemade things. That, and then, yes, this. More people from the town. More about Pinocchio's infrastructure and very cool. There's the fascist jerk guy. Some of the Pinocchios used. Here's another mock-up model, which I quite enjoyed these because, you know, as live puppeteers, often this is how we make things, right like this. So it was very relative to me, and many of my friends that I know build puppets just like this and then cover it with paper mache or fabric, whatever, all the time. There's the little Mussolini. And the puppet theater, which was extraordinary. And you could see it from different angles, which was very cool. And it was just like a real puppet theater. Now, this was so much fun and such a shocking surprise because many of my real life friends, and if you're watching at home, I'm so proud and delighted with all of you and what you have accomplished with this film. My love and gratitude to you. And at the end of the exhibit, they had little photos of everyone who worked on the film. And so all the people that I actually know in real life, I took pictures. So there is Bika, and a picture of Bika and Chris. We know Chris and Liz. There is Liz. So a bunch of our real life friends have their faces hanging up in the Museum of Modern Art. What an extraordinary accomplishment and accolade to your hard work. Great job. Seriously, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, our next photo, which already popped up a little bit early, but that's fine. It was Luke's birthday. So for his birthday, we went to see this movie called The Birthday with the director and, right there, Corey Feldman. It's a Corey Feldman movie. Corey Feldman was there, and we saw it at the Lincoln Center. And if you haven't seen this movie, of course you haven't, because it's 20 years old, but it was never released in the United States. It was made in Spain, and so no one's seen it. This is the world premiere in America of this movie. No one's seen it before. We were the first audience ever in America to see this, besides, you know, special viewings. Specialist viewing was by Jordan Peele, who Corey showed him the movie, and Jordan Peele wants to produce it and give it a wider, showing in the States, because it was surprisingly good. It's sort of a surreal horror comedy, pretty unexpected and very well done. Better than I thought. I thought it would be one of those like so bad it's good kind of things, but it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it was great to hear the director, who they flew all the way from Spain, and Corey Feldman talk about the process of this film and, you know, working on it and the struggles of getting it released. So we went to that. I did all of these things in like 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing to me. That's why I had to share it all with you in this show because it's just crazy. And so that was on Friday for Luke's birthday. On Saturday, I got in the car. I picked up a guest who was Eva Cranky Pants, and we had a delightful car ride, another puppeteer, because we were going back to Baltimore to do another show. Me and Eva had a great car ride, talked a lot about puppetry and New York puppetry, and then we had a very interesting time at a Starbucks on the road, which I don't really want to recall all of it or even think about it, but it happened, and we were like, wow. I remembered why I never go to Starbucks. Let's just put it that way. All right. So we drove back on Saturday for my final 2 shows of the whole tour, which also sold out. And those 2 shows were at the Great Black Cherry Puppet Theater in Baltimore, Maryland, which I have performed many times. And I always sell it out because our Baltimore fans are so supportive and wonderful, and we love you. And so I was there for the Puppet Slamwich. So let's see. Puppet Slamwich, we had started with Ursula Popolo, opened the show with a cranky piece. And then we had a visit to Danny Joe's Treehouse. Danny Joe is a children's television producer in the Baltimore area. He does public television for kids, but he did a rare adult performance, which was charming and everyone loved it. And so we got to visit Danny Joe's Treehouse. And then we had this piece from the String Theory Theater, which was delightful and full of science. Who would have known with a name like String Theory Theater? And then we had intermission. After intermission, we had a piece from the Bonky Dolls from Washington, D.C. And then this amazing piece by Eva Cranky Pants, all done in this little hat bag that kept popping up and had things inside of it and was about sort of nautical adventures. I loved it. It was quirky, it was funny, and it was full of clowning. Great piece. Eva, if you're watching at home, come and visit us in Asheville. We can have more fun and put your show up here. I think our fans would love to see it. It was very good. I loved it. And then, of course, I hosted the show and performed a piece myself, which everyone was quite happy with and had fun. So that is what happened. And then we had a house band who were Bandits of the Animal Kingdom, also all multi-instrumentalists, and have told me that they work in Burlesque and Sideshow. So hopefully I see these people again and we can do more performances with them because they were delightful and their show is great and I'd love to see what else they can do. And, you know, I work in a lot of that sort of Burlesque and Sideshow scene myself. So thank you to Sam and to Michael and all of the cast and crew at the Black Cherry for having me and producing the show. It was excellent. All right. Now, after that, Saturday, I went back and stayed one final night with Dan and Catherine and then got up and took a little bonus trip to visit my friend Draven Arcane in Richmond, Virginia. And when I was there, I went to a place that, I'm not kidding you, is called Awesome Town. Awesome Town is the home of Draven Arcane and Madame Ansa and Paul Garbanzo and their family and a menagerie of pets and animals. And I have to tell you, it was indeed awesome. Their house is fantastic. And it was, I didn't take as many pictures around there, but I should have, because it was another bizarre art house with chicken coops and weird architecture and artwork. and lots of fun and art studios and amazing place. So thank you to Madam Ansa and Paulo and Draven for your hospitality and letting me stay. We went out and we had a little fun time, me and Draven. And on our adventures, I was like, let's go to this toy store. It looks good. So we went to a place that I think honestly might be one of the best, if not the best, independent toy shops I have ever been in. It's in Richmond, Virginia. If you're going there, it is an absolute must. And that place is called the Toy Lair. Oh, well, we're out of order, but we went to the Toy Lair. Well, let's see the pictures. Here it is. The Toy Lair. Fantastic toy shop. Excellently curated by Cody, the owner, who has a ton of a mixture of stuff. Modern to vintage, commercial, but also a very excellent exquisite collection of handmade and designer bootleg toys, independent toys, and imported stuff. All sorts of very unique collection of stuff. Oh yes, we went out of order, but that's fine. Let's go back to the top. So as I was saying, before we get to the toys, we'll do a little build up. Staying at Awesome Town, I wanted to take a picture of Madame Ansa's amazing hand paper cut artwork because Catherine Fahey, who I stayed with, is also a paper cut artist, and she has done these are all over the house, these exquisite little paper cuts, which I loved. And she gave me one, which I have in the car, and I forgot to bring it in. And then we went to the Toy Lair and got some toys. Are we ready to look at toys now? Are we back up and running on the toy camera? All right. Well, this is exciting because you're not going to believe the awesome things that I got from the Toy Lair. All right. So first of all, I got this because it was on sale and I thought it was pretty cool and a great price. There's a little Masters of the Universe Lego set, which will be fun to put together. Camera is stuck, I guess. But it's a little Lego set with a battle cat and what are these things called? Roton. And it comes with a merman and a He-Man. Little figures. Very cool. Lego Mega Constructs. So you can put this together. And, you know, it was cheap. So I was like, yeah, that's great. I want that. That looks like fun. I love having fun. All right. And here is the real special stuff inside of this box. From the Toy Lair, my new favorite toy store. Friends, I would drive to Richmond, Virginia just to go there again. I mean, this place is phenomenal. And let's see what we got here. Some packing stuff. All right. Well, first off, I got these little guys that were on the bargain bin. And they looked really cool. They were little zombies. So monochrome green zombies. And I just thought that they were fun. I loved the style. I don't know who the toy maker is. If you know, let us know in the comments. But love these little zombies, and they were a great price. So perfect. And then here is another little muscle man. And then this one, which was my favorite one, is a little Santa. Zombie Santa. All right, so I got those, which I liked quite a bit. I also got this little guy. It was just a little, probably a blind bag figure at one time. but was also cheap, and I thought he was cute. He'll look good on a shelf up in the toy castle. Weird little Igor, flying ladybug guy. I don't know what it is, but that's why I liked it. Also, I got this guy because I always love to get those red-haired mohawk guys, you know? I have a whole collection of them. If they have a red hair and a mohawk, I'll buy it. I'm that easy, really. I think this one is a vintage figure from Rambo, and he's got this sort of weird gun thing that comes out like that. See that? It's like a... It's got a gun mechanism for when he's shooting at Rambo or robbing a bank or whatever sort of nefarious deeds this punk is up to. I'm all about it, and I'm happy I found this guy, little mohawk punk guy. And let's see, this is very cool. Now these are the good things. I did buy a couple fancy toys while I was there because, you know, that's what you do when you're out on a tour and you're going to new places and you find some things that you don't really see every day. So I bought this, which is very cool. I believe that this is a Killer Bootlegs, and it's a Frankenstein Boba Fett with a working shootable rocket. It has the little... Whoop. I don't want to shoot it because I don't want to lose it, but if you look inside of that little crevice, maybe you can see, there you go, there's a little spring in there, and it does actually shoot out. So very cool. Frankenstein Boba Fett from Killer Bootlegs. And finally, the grand finale. This right here might be one of my all-time favorite toys I ever got. I absolutely loved it when I saw it. I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, tell me. I don't know who made it. I don't know what it's supposed to be. But I fell in love immediately and was like, what is that? Yes, I'm taking it home. Very, very cool thing. My favorite new thing. And here he is. Look at that. You're as perplexed as I am. What is it? Does it matter? It's beautiful is what it is. It's crisp and clean, like some sort of primordial clown god from outer space. There it is. Excellent. All right, well, friends, that's our show for tonight. I hope you had fun going over my entire adventure and sold-out tour, looking at all of my new toys and comics, which now I can finally go upstairs and play with and read. Before we go, just a few bit of housekeeping announcements. Of course, you can always support and donate to Toybox Theater. We have some new toys coming up in the shop that you can buy soon. Or you can just donate straight money. Just be like, hey, I want to give you some money. You can do that. We also have a Patreon account where you can become a Patreon. I don't know. I'm not very good at keeping up with it. I think I have a handful of people that do it. But, you know, it exists. Also, if you would like to support Toybox Theater live and in person next Sunday, we are going to do a comedy and magic show at the auditorium with my good friends Danny Whitson from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Chriswell, the traveling magician, who is one of the funniest and magicians I know. Both of them are hilarious and lots of fun. So come and see this comedy and magic showcase at the Odd next Sunday. Only $10, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. One of a kind show. So that's happening next Sunday. Well, this Sunday coming up, the 29th. Also, the biggest event, one of the biggest events all year that I am a part of, is coming up February 4th and 5th. You hear us talk about it every year because we absolutely love it. And that is Assembly Required, Asheville's Designer Toy Expo. February 4 and 5, it's going to be at the Grey Eagle this year. A lot of my friends and colleagues who make designer and bootleg and handmade toys. It's all original work that you can come and buy and bring home for yourself. So come to that. It is fantastic and so much fun every year. This is our 5th year of doing Assembly Required. So check out more. Follow them on your social media. Assembly Required Asheville Designer Toy Expo. Also on February 4th, I will be hosting the official after party like we do every year. This year it will be at Girl and Goblin with the Wham Bam Puppet Slam. We have a great lineup of variety puppet shows for grown-ups happening on February 4th. Don't miss it. Last year, our show sold out very quickly and people were turned away at the door. So make sure that you get there early. It's going to be at 8 p.m. at Girl and Goblin. And it's going to be a rare treat for a puppet variety show in Asheville, North Carolina. Also coming up in March, we have the Asheville Fringe Festival, which I will be debuting a brand new puppet show, feature-length show. So if you live in Asheville, it's one of the rare opportunities you get to see a 45-minute puppet play from me that then I take to other places and perform. So come and see that. Otherwise, friends, that is our show for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Until next time. Goodbye.